Hi, this is my challenge 3, option 2, created by Patrick Bruggeman. The person I decided to interview for option 2, his name's Matt Sawyer. His disability is Tourette's syndrome. The reason I know him, we grew up playing youth football together and went to Chaminade Julian Catholic High School basketball camp. We'd known each other for long before fourth grade, but we started playing sports together around fifth grade, all the way up until high school. And he was our quarterback, or a backup quarterback in high school. And he graduated in '09 with me, and now attends University of Michigan and is graduating in May. Um, the reason I really chose him was because he's probably the closest friend I have that actually has a disability. I mean, I wouldn't really call it a disability in his eyes, but it's documented that he does have one. And basically, throughout the interview, it was a phone interview, and I knew most about Matt before I did the interview, but he constantly preached about being mentally tough through it because he said he doesn't like to view it as a disability. He knows it's there. He can't deal with it. He knows that it will never go away, but the side effects will improve as he gets older. So he just tries to live his life like a normal person and always is staying positive about it. It never stopped him from playing any sport, especially football, which is his favorite sport. He's the biggest University of Michigan fan, so it kind of got annoying during Notre Dame Michigan rivalry in football. But he always trains just as hard as everyone else, tries his best. But what got really hard for him during training was when he got really competitive and angry if he wasn't succeeding as far as the other athletes on the team, where his Tourette's would occur more frequently, which and then caused him to have the physical side effects of the Tourette's happen. And sometimes, as a quarterback in practice, if he got nervous or excited or something, which then caused the Tourette's to happen more often, then so in a big game, it happened before, so we had to call timeout. So it could hurt us in a game, but we never we never hated on Matt at all. I mean, we couldn't do nothing about it. We just encouraged him and tried to push him to do better. But it's nothing he can control, really. Some surprising facts or things I learned about Matt was, I mean, nothing really out of the usual except for that he's always really comfortable about talking about his syndrome. And most people, especially with Tourette's or any other disability, aren't that comfortable talking about it. Personally, I could never imagine having a disability. I did actually get documented for a learning disability when I was in high school, but my parents felt I never needed to get documentized or any medical, get checked out medically or anything. But so I kind of understand where he comes through with like school, but physically, I could never imagine having a disability. Um, right now, his disability, he says, actually improved a lot since high school. And I did some research on it, and it says the worst is in your late teens, and they start to improve in your early 20s, and just improve as you get older. So basically, I think his Tourette syndrome is actually improving a great amount now that he's almost graduated college. Um, basically, I expected a lot. I expected basically whatever all I heard during the interview, and he always preached not talking about the negatives of Tourette syndrome. Um, he then asked me a question and asked if I could tell if the Tourette's bothered him at any time during school or in sports. And honestly, I mean, I could see it physically, but mentally, I don't think it bothered him at all. He would still be focused and train just as hard as anyone else on the team. Um, he's always positive about it, and I just figured no one could really tell that I mean, looking at it, you would never expect that he would have it or anything. He tried to stay cool about it, and physically, no one could tell that he actually did have it, though. Um, relating to the class material, it's not as serious as I thought it would be. I mean, serious as what some of the cases of physical disabilities we learned in class, but he tries to live his life just like everyone else in the world. So I guess you could tie that into the class. And as a friend and teammate, I never tried to use the word disability around him. I never would bring it up to him in high school. Just like what we learned in class, nobody wants to actually hear the word disability around them. And it never stopped him from doing anything that he does love a lot, like sports, and stop him from hanging out with his friends or anything like that, or stopped him from getting into college. Uh, the main thing I could tie it to was the video we learned in class um, about the physical disabilities for the youth and how they played the game of the baseball diamonds for all the physical disability kids. And I thought that that's just something Matt would always love to do, but he was actually able to play a varsity sport on a competitive level. And though how I use it in my career, um, since I want to be a football coach eventually one day, I should always be aware of my players, and being around kids that possibly could have a disability is very important. Knowing knowing what kids have learning disabilities, mental and physical disabilities, it will help me become a more qualified coach, and as a person, it will help me in the long run. And no matter what my career I end up going into, I think knowing more about disabilities can only better myself and the understanding of them. Um, Basically, from my own thinking, I should never view anyone as having a disability. Nobody likes the term disability, and they probably already hear it enough. I think that most people with disabilities would love to take the positive out of any situation. And the one thing I can constantly get out of this class and this challenge is that sports can cure anything. Just like the videos we watch, sports put smiles on people's faces no matter how bad they are hurting. And I think just sports brings out the best in everyone, especially with people with disabilities. They just want to be like everyone else and participate. And then these are the questions I asked throughout the interview.